Swamin namaste natalokabandho karunya sindho patitam bhavabdhau mamuddharatmiya kataksha drishtya rijvyati karunya sudhabhivrishtya. Swamin namaste, Swamin namaste, Swamin namaste, Swamin namaste. Yat kirtanam yat smaranam yadikshanam yad vandanam yat shravanam yadarhanam lokasya sadyo vidhunoti kalmasham tasmai subhadrashravase namo namaha vichakshanaaya charanopasadanat sangam vyudasyo bhayato antaratmanaha vindanti hi brahmagatim gataklamaha tasmai subhadrashravase namo namaha tasmai subhadrashravase namo namaha tasmai subhadrashravase namo namaha. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. So, last session, I think whatever I wanted to discuss in the Rishabha Charitam about King Rishabha, who is none but a part of Lord Vishnu and who had given instructions to all householders how to live in this world so that living in the household, one can be liberated from this mistaken identity of feeling that the body is the soul, I is the body, and one has this mistaken identity, and because of this mistaken identity, one suffers a lot. There is fear, there is misery, and constantly shuttling between sukha and dukha. So, he had given very good points and he explained them to his sons, calling them, telling that you should pursue these 25 points with lot of shraddha, have association with holy people and constantly dwell upon these thoughts so that your eye sense, the feeling that this I am this body, forgetting that the real identity is the self, the imperishable self. He then also said that these instructions, not only that one pursues oneself, one should try to tell others, and one should tell the children, people around them. He particularly said the father should tell the sons, the king should tell the subjects, the teacher should tell the students. That is, it should be told. What should be told? That there is such a state which one can attain, so that remaining in the midst of all kinds of sufferings and miseries in this world, one can still remain equipoised, stable, afloat, and not feel that one is drowning. One can remain unaffected, one can remain peaceful. Also, in saying so, I think you will remember, he said that one should not be impatient with the people to whom we are telling that such a thing is there. While teaching, one should not be impatient, should not become angry if the other person is not receptive. And lastly, we discussed this shloka where he says that even though relatives, parents, one's husband, similarly wife, even the guru, the devatas, all are considered to be one's well-wisher. If they are not helping one in walking this path, progressing in this path, and attaining liberation, by which one will feel that I am immortal and not a mortal. If he does not get that help from these people, and instead he gets hindered by them, then Rishabha says, they are not our well-wishers. Namocha edyas samupeta mrityum. If they are not helping us to understand that I am the self, I am not this body, and does not allow us to pursue this path, then they should not be considered our well-wishers at all. Now, this I think I have discussed in 3-4 sessions, and every time I have been telling that these points should be gone into. It is not that we just learn. We know the knowledge is there. I think all of us who have been listening, who have been reading, contemplating, all of us by now know that I am not the body-mind intelligence complex. I am the soul. I am the changeless one. But that remains as a knowledge. How to be established in the knowledge so that in our thoughts, our actions, our interactions, always that knowledge will be guiding us. We become that knowledge. We become that knowledge. Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. The one who has the knowledge, then that person becomes Brahman. Then whatever he does, it is in accordance with that knowledge. But if we look into ourselves, we find that we are still gripped by fear, we are still gripped by dukhas, we are still gripped by desires and disappointments. Unfulfillment of our plans. So we are always gripped by all these things and we remain agitated. So, what is necessary to get established in this knowledge is to constantly understand what will take us to that state, like these 25 points. And there are many other such points, some are common, and I've been mentioning to you that whether you go in Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, Ashtavakra Samhita, Yoga Vasishta Ramayana, there are so many qualities for a seeker to imbibe. And those are the steps to go forward. Brahman is absolutely, we do not know what it is. We only know the characteristics. That also we just cannot comprehend what it is. But we are being told the steps to go there, steps to reach there. So those steps, my dear children, never feel that these are not important. Always give lot of importance to these qualities which our Shastras are again and again mentioning to us, telling us to pursue, telling us to imbibe. So in reading this or discussing this Rishabha Charitam, I think I have already mentioned to you that in Bhagavatam, this is a part of Bhagavatam, and Rishabha Charitam is in the 5th skandha. Many other skandhas also, we are given this kind of a knowledge, what we must actually pursue or imbibe. What is this bhakti? What is this jnana? What are we to really do every day, every moment? Like, we have to see God everywhere. We have to see God in everything. Everything, every moment, every time, remain connected with God. So all these things are always told to us. When we come to the 11th skandha, there is a very similar, there are many similar instructions, and I thought that it will be nice to go through them. In 11th skandha, lot of jnana about the self, Brahman, etc. is given. And here, I today will start discussion on King Nimi's questions to the Navayogis. Who are the Navayogis? We have just now finished Rishabhadeva. The Navayogis are 9 sons of Rishabha, King Rishabha. Rishabha had 100 sons. Out of them, 9 of them became yogis. They only dwelt in the thought of Brahman, and they roamed about spreading this knowledge and remaining always indrawn in the thought of Brahman. You know why this holy people, the sannyasins, the realized people, the rishis, they roam about. In Bhagavatam itself, there are many places it is written, Tirthi kurvanti tirthani. When these holy people who have reached the state of the supreme felicity, they have those qualities and the characteristics of a Jivan Mukta. They are Brahman themselves. So when they roam about and go from place to place, wherever they go, those places become purified. To whomever they meet, if they interact, they are able to transmit that purity to some extent to the people. It depends on how one receives it. So these Navayogis, they used to roam about. Now, the story goes like this. Krishna, after Mahabharata war, everything was over, he went back to Dwaraka. He took his parents also, Vasudeva and Devaki. So, Narada, who was a great devotee of Sri Krishna, he used to go to Dwaraka and stay for long periods. Why? Because he had a great yearning to see Krishna, be in his association. He wanted to serve Krishna also. So he would often stay there for long periods. So once, while he was in Dwaraka, he visited Vasudeva. So Vasudeva, as is the tradition, very happily with lot of devotion, welcomed the sage Narada, gave him a seat and did Pada Puja and worshipped him. Then also he said that the arrival of holy men in any place is actually a relief to wherever he has come, to those people. Relief from what? Relief from all sufferings. That is, Vasudeva said that, O sage, that you have come to my house is something I understand is very great, because whenever a sage comes in any place, the people around, they are relieved from all sufferings. And this is not only for a person like you, it is true for all sages. He says, Swastaye sarvadehinam, sarvadehinam, for all the people who have body, embodied people, the association of any saintly person is always purification. It brings about purification. And after that, he told Narada, Brahmam stathapi pritchamo dharman bhagavatam stava yan shrutva shraddhaya martyo muchyate sarvato bhayat. So, after having said that I am very pleased that you have come to my house, I am purified by your presence, he said that, O Lord, I want to know about the Bhagavata Dharma. This is falling down. I want to know about the Bhagavata Dharma. And what is Bhagavata Dharma? The devotional disciplines of a true devotee. A devotee, when he is a Bhagavata, he knows nothing but God. He finds God everywhere. And he feels, he has a feeling that I am God's. He belongs to nobody. He belongs only to the Lord. That kind of a devotee, the true devotee, who has all devotion for the Supreme, without any motivation, without any condition, unconditionally he is devoted to the Lord. He wants to be only devoted, he wants to serve. That kind of a devotee. So, what are the disciplines to become like that? Vasudeva is asking. Vasudeva is asking that, my dear saint, I had been also doing a lot of tapasya. I did not know at that time. And I did penance to get a son like Srihari. But now I have understood that that kind of a wish or desire is not right. See, I got a son, I got Krishna, but how much I have suffered. So what I now want to know is that what are the disciplines following which, what I should do, what I should pursue, following which I will be liberated from all the fears, all the miseries of this world. I will be able to remain stable in the midst of all kinds of adverse situation. So he says, Brahmam sathapi pritchamo dharman bhagavatam stava yan shrutva shraddhaya martyo muchyate sarvato bhayat. Please tell me, that Bhagavata dharma, the Bhagavata discipline, listening to which, and listening in which manner? Shraddhaya, with Shraddha. What is Shraddha? Whatever we listen to, we have faith in it. We accept it. We accept it to be true. We accept in such a manner, wholeheartedly, and try to follow it wholeheartedly also, sincerely, with Shraddha. The listening should be with Shraddha. So he says, please tell me that, listening to which, from all kinds of fear, anybody who listens will be free, liberated. And he also said, instruct me, since I am in your association, please tell me everything that you know. You are a liberated person and you are a devotee of the Supreme Lord, Mahavishnu. You are going around everywhere singing His glory. And I am so fortunate to be in your association. So you tell me everything so that very easily and quickly also. I think everybody wants that. I think he's saying very easily and quickly also, I get liberation. Everybody wants it. Everybody would like to have liberation quickly and also easily. That is, it should not be necessary to put in a lot of effort, and it should happen very fast. And I think that's what happens to all devotees and seekers. We start pursuing, and then very soon we will start expressing our disappointment, expressing our feelings that we are not progressing. Nothing, this path is not good, nothing is happening. But as we have studied in schools and colleges, and most of the people, we have got into a line, got jobs, and then worked hard to progress and get higher posts. How much we have worked? How many years we have worked? So that much hard work is necessary here also. But see, even Vasudeva is saying, please tell me so that easily and quickly I can be liberated. So, he has asked this question, and he says that in this world is full of dukha. It is full of sukha, and dukha is the most. Dukha is more. Whatever we consider as sukha in the beginning, that also, after some time, we find only results in dukha. So, please tell me how I can remain stable in the midst of that. So, hearing his question, Narada started saying, "Oh Vasudeva, your yearning is commendable." See, Vasudeva was saying all this with lot of devotion, sincerity, seriously, because he is telling him that I was a fool. Instead of asking for liberation, I have asked for a son who would be similar to Lord Vishnu, and I have suffered. I do not want anything like that. I now want only liberation. My dear children, you know, that is what even the Supreme, in our lives, we are given so many things to do, and we are made to forget our real self. We are made to be happy with perishable objects, thinking that perishable objects will give us all kinds of happiness. So we keep on looking outward instead of looking inward, where there is the self revealed, always revealed, because I am the self. It's just like a small child. When the mother has to work, the child is awake, so the mother gives some toys to the child. The child will be playing for some time. Then the child gets disgusted or bored, starts crying. So the mother comes running, hearing the cry. She gives some few more toys, the newer ones. The child will play with those toys also for some time. Again the child starts crying. The mother comes again, maybe the mother will give a candy because she has to work. If she has to spend time with the child at that time, all the household work will be not done. So she is giving one thing after another to keep the child engaged. But at one time, the child, although all along with one kind of toy, second kind of toy, third kind of candy, with all that the child became engaged, forgot everything. Now the time comes at one time when he doesn't want anything. Then he starts crying shoutingly for mother. Mother, 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 mother. Then the mother understands, now he doesn't want anything except me. So she leaves behind all her work and takes up the child. With us also it is like this. With all the alluring objects of the world, which God has simply spread in front of us and made our senses getting attracted towards them, and we are made to get allured, attracted, unless we feel we don't want this. We don't want this. We want that essence, my real self, the real mother, the universal mother, who is inside me. Unless we want like this, we will be only spending time sometimes with one object, next day with another object, and the third day with another object. So we have to, from our insight, understand what these things all are perishable, these are not going to give me any happiness. And leave. Want only that real item. What is that? The supreme felicity. So, Narada says, "Oh Vasudeva, your yearning is very true." Because Vasudeva is saying now, I do not want anything else. I have understood. I now want the real item, the real felicity, the supreme felicity I want. So, Narada told him, Shruto anupatito dhyata adrito vanumoditaha sadyah punati saddharmo deva vishwadruhopihi. Shruto anupatito dhyata adrito vanumoditaha sadyah punati saddharmo deva vishwadruhopihi. He said that Vasudeva, your yearning is very genuine, it is commendable, and this Bhagavata Dharma about which you are wanting to know, what is this Bhagavata Dharma? That Dharma, that discipline, knowing which one becomes liberated, pursuing which one becomes liberated, one becomes free of all the fears and sufferings of this world. So this question is commendable, and if one hears Shrutaha, Anupatito, if you chant, you repeat, Dhyata, you meditate upon it, whatever you have heard, you meditate upon it, Adritaha, that is, you give a lot of value and honor to what you have heard, Vanumoditaha, and you also approve, then you propagate, extol. If all these are done, then even the great sinners get purified. That is, you have to hear. First is what? Shrutaha, Anupatitaha. Hear, repeat, not only just hear and go away and do something else. Hear, then repeat and do manana in the mind, dhyata, meditate upon that, contemplate upon what. And it should not be only for a little time. Adritaha, if you give value to it, it will remain with you. Even if you go for other work, yes, householders will have to do many kinds of work. So you'll have to go for your professional duties, your household duties, your societal duties, many things. Doing even all those things, if you have given value to what you have heard, definitely that will have effect in whatever activity you are doing, whatever interactions you are having, whatever thoughts you are generating, in everything. So adritaha, vanumoditaha, and you must have a faith that this is the truth. So approve of it. When somebody does it, sadyah punati, sadyaha, immediately one becomes purified. If one does it with all sincerity, one becomes purified. He further said, Tvaya paramakalyanah punyashravana kirtanah smarito bhagavanadya devo narayano mama. He said that you are asking about whatever you have asked, my dear Vasudeva. Actually, you have asked about Narayana, my dear Lord. And who is he? Paramakalyanah. He is supremely auspicious. And Punyashravana Kirtanaha. He is Punyashravana Kirtanaha. If anybody hears Shravanaha, Kirtanaha, whoever hears about him, whoever does kirtana about him, that is, sings about him, his praises, he becomes purified, he becomes punya. So, you are asking me about Bhagavata Dharma. Whatever I have to tell, I'll have to tell about Lord Narayana. So, in your question, which is very commendable, I am remembering my Lord, the Supreme Lord. He is coming to my mind and making me purified. So then he starts saying, you have asked me, okay, I will give you the reply. But in doing so, I will tell you about an incident. Then he says that there was a king called Nimi Chakravarti. And where was he the king? He was king in the country called Videha. Raja Janaka was from Videha. So in that dynasty, King Nimi was there, and King Nimi was doing a Brahma Satra. So lots of rishis had assembled there. There the Navayogis also came. Who are the Navayogis? Rishabha's sons. They also came there. And they were luminous like the sun. So when they came there, they were very, very highly knowledgeable rishis, and everybody could understand. The Navayogis have come. So the whole assembly got up. King Nimi duly honored them by welcoming them, receiving them, giving them seed, doing Pada Puja, worshipping them, doing stuti and all that. And he was overjoyed. King Nimi did not think that these Navayogis will come there. He was surrounded by many rishis. Lot of discussions on the Supreme Lord was going on. But when these came, 9 rishis came, 9 yogis came, he was overjoyed, and with great humility the king said, what did he say? Just see. Durlabho manusho deho dehinam kshanabhangurah tatrapi durlabham manye vaikuntha priyadarshanam. Durlabho manusho deho dehinam kshanabhangurah tatrapi durlabham manye vaikuntha priyadarshanam. He said, after worshipping them, he said that human birth is very rare. Durlabho manusho deho dehinam kshanabhangurah. And for dehinam, those who are embodied, manusho deho, that is, the human body is very rare. Or for all embodied beings, to have human body is very, very rare. And not only that, human body is shanabhanguraha. It is of short duration, ephemeral, transitory. It doesn't remain eternally. It is anitya. Tatrapi durlabham manye vaikuntha priyadarshanam. He said that for embodied being to get a human body which we have got is very rare, I understand. And this human body is shanabhangura, that also we understand. But more rare, more durlabha is to have the association or the darshan of Vaikuntha Priya. Who is Vaikuntha Priya? One who is Priya of the Lord, whom God loves, whom God loves. Who is Vaikuntha Priya? Where is Vaikuntha? Who stays there? It is Lord Hari's abode. So he is saying that even this body, human body is rare. Rarer is to have the darshan and association of that devotee who is loved by God, or who is beloved or dear to God. And meaning, what is King Nimi meaning? King Nimi meaning King Nimi is meaning that these Navayogis who are constantly dwelling on God and Brahman, who themselves are so, they are very dear to God. So having their association is very, very rare. See, what I am going to tell you, the discussion of Narada on Bhagavata Dharma, which Vasudeva has asked. What has Vasudeva asked about? Bhagavata Dharma. That is, tell me how I can be liberated. Tell me how I can pursue this path. Imbibing what, pursuing what, thinking what, doing what, so that I get liberated. And in that, this discussion has started where King Nimi is telling that, O Navayogis, you have come here. I am so very blessed to have your darshan because you are Vaikuntha Priya. Why this Vaikuntha Priyatva is being given so much of importance? My dear children, you know, in the 12th chapter, how many times Krishna is telling Arjuna about who is my bhakta, which bhakta is my priya. You may be knowing it. See, all these. Santushtas satatam yogi yatatma dridhanishchayah mayi arpita mano buddhi yo madbhaktas same priyaha. So the madbhaktaha, my devotee who has all these qualities, santushtaha satatam, that is always contented, yogi, yatatma dridhanishchayah, and who is free of, who is contented, who is integrated, whose senses and mind are well disciplined, who has firm conviction, dridhanishchayah, mayi arpita mano buddhi, who has offered his mind and intelligence to me. All, and similarly there are many shlokas. This is in the chapter 12 of Bhagavad Gita. Everywhere he is saying, yo mad bhaktaha same priyaha. These qualities in various shlokas, Arjuna is being told by Krishna that those devotees who have these qualities, they are dear to me. And in 7th chapter, what has in 7th chapter, in 17th shloka in Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna is telling? Tesham jnani nityayukta eka bhaktir vishishyate priyo hi jnaninotyartham aham sacha mama priyaha. He says that the one, the knower who has singular devotion. What is singular devotion? That is exclusive devotion. Not devotion for the world, not devotion for the family, children and all that. Yes, love and devotion may be there. But the supreme devotion is knowing that I belong to God and I am God's. God is everywhere. That kind of a devotion. The knower with his singular devotion, which is unbrokenly united with me. And Nityayukta, he verily excels. For the knower, I am extremely dear. He says, the knower, the one who has known that he is the self, who has realized the self, for him, God is extremely dear. And not only that, he says, he too is extremely dear to me. He says that, and I am also very, very fond of him. He too is extremely dear to me. He also says, Jnani tvatmaiva me matam. And Jnani is myself. So, Vaikuntha Priya. Why is King Nimi feeling so overjoyed? Because he is seeing some yogis, 9 of them, who are realized souls, Mahapurushas, Mahatmas, and he understands that they have realized, so they are very dear to God, very dear. So he is overjoyed, and then he asked them, I want to ask you something. Now that you have come, and I am so fortunate to have your association, he says, Ata atyantikam kshemam prichhamo bhavato naghaha samsaresmin shanardhopi satsanga shevadhir nrinam. Ata atyantikam kshemam prichhamo bhavato naghaha samsaresmin shanardhopi satsanga shevadhir nrinam. He says that, please tell me what constitutes the ultimate good of man. And never ending, atyantikam kshemam. Kshemam means good, supreme good. Atyantikam actually means never ending good, good that does not end at all. Nishreyasa. Ata atyantikam kshemam prichhamaha. I am asking you to tell me about that good which is never ending, which is the supreme good for man. And I am asking you because in this world, asmin samsare, in this world, even if we get satsanga, even for half a moment, then we should consider it as a great treasure. You have come by your own wish, you have come and you have blessed me. So please, since I've got your association, I consider it to be a very blessed moment, very blessed association, and please tell me, what is the ultimate good of human beings? And tell me that. Dharman bhagavatan bruta yadina shrutaye kshamam yaih prasanna prapannaya dasyatyaatmanamapyajaha. Dharman bhagavatan bruta yadina shrutaye kshamam yaih prasanna prapannaya dasyatyaatmanamapyajaha. He said that, please tell us about the Bhagavata Dharma. Now who had asked whom? Vasudeva had asked Narada, please tell me the Bhagavata Dharma. And Narada, after saying that your question has been very commendable and all that, he is saying that I'll tell you another story where King Nimi had asked the Navayogis this question, that tell me, what is the Bhagavata Dharma, the Bhagavata discipline, the devotional disciplines. And he says that, please tell us about the Bhagavata Dharma, the path of devotion. If, he says, yadi naha shrutaye kshamam, dharman bhagavatan bruta. He's saying, Nimi Chakravarti is telling the Navayogis that please tell me, what is this Bhagavata Dharma? If I am capable of hearing, not I, if we are capable of hearing, because there is a big assembly, all are eager to hear. Already the assembly was there. There the Navayogis have come. Just imagine the scene. It's a very pure, sublime place where so many rishis, they have come and they are discussing what? They have been discussing only about the Supreme Lord, only about this path of mukti. And while they were doing so, they were doing lots of yajna and all that. There comes this Navayogi. And seeing the Navayogi, King Nimi Chakravarti, he welcomes and worships them and then asks, please tell us the Bhagavata Dharma. Because we are desirous of liberation. But he said that if you feel that we are capable of hearing, and we have heard that if Bhagavata Dharma is heard, then and practiced, then what happens? Then Hari is pleased. The Supreme Lord gets pleased. Why I am asking? All of you should tell us this Bhagavata Dharma, because we have heard Yaihi Dharmaihi Prasannasan Ajaha Prapannaya Atmanam Dasyati. He says, Yaih Prasanna Prapannaya Dasyatya Atmanam Apyajaha. First he said, please tell us if you are capable of hearing. That is, we are having that eligibility to hear. And what is the eligibility? You must have Shraddha. Shraddha to the Shastra Vakya and Guru Vakya. What is the Shastra Vakya? Whatever is being told is the Shastra Vakya. Who is telling you? The Guru. Whoever is imparting this knowledge to you is the Guru. You must have faith that this is what is truth. So with faith and with exclusive attention, you hear. And he says that we have heard that if one hears this Bhagavata Dharma and also follows it, then Lord Hari himself becomes pleased with that seeker or devotee and he gives him Atma Jnana. Dasyati Atmanam Api. Ajaha, Narayana, Ajaha, Dasyati Atmanam Api. So, this is what transpired there. Then the Navayogis, after being questioned, you know the names of the Navayogis, Kavi, Hari, Antariksha, Prabuddha, Pippalayana, Avirhotra, Drumila, Chamasa, Karabhajana, spoke one after another. One after another. Out of that, I will now take what Prabuddha said. 9 of them talked. And the Raja kept on asking them questions. You know what Nimi Chakravarti asked one after another? Nimi Chakravarti first said, what is that ultimate good? And then that Navayogi, Kavi, he replied. Then he asked, please tell me about a Bhagavata. Please tell me about a true devotee. Who is a Bhagavata? What is the way of life he follows? What distinguishes him? What does he behave? How does he behave? What are his characteristics? Like in the Bhagavad Gita, the Sthita Prajna Darshana is there. Arjuna is asking, this Sthita Prajna Saka Bhasha. Like that. Here also, this Nimi Chakravarti is asking, the person who is a true devotee, who has got liberated by pursuing these Bhagavata disciplines, please tell me what are his characteristics, how does he behave, what are his ways of life. Then the Navayogi Hari, he replied. Then third question was, please tell me about Maya. Why is it that when this kind of a state is there, we forget it? By what? And in devotional texts, lot of Maya word is used, that by your Maya alone, O God, you are making us forget this. So he is asking, please tell us what is this Maya. Then fourth question was, tell me the way by which even men of gross intellect may quickly get over this Maya. Okay, somehow we are forgetting our real self, our real identity, that I am the soul, I am the self, and the same self is everywhere. We are forgetting. We are only looking outside and looking for happiness outside. We are not going inside. By our desires, our mind is absolutely restless. So the self, although the self is the self, it does not get revealed because of the curtain, the cloud of desires. So tell me, by which even men of gross intellect may quickly get over this Maya. Now, he is telling the Navayogis, you are telling me many things. I have to understand them. I have to practice them. I have to be them. I do not have that kind of intelligence and dharana shakti, the receptivity. Please tell me how, even if a person does not have enough intelligence, does not have enough receptivity, how can he still cross over this Maya and know the real self? This kind of questions. My dear children, these are very, very important. Important means very interesting actually. Interesting in the sense that when I read them, I feel that how much is to be known and how attentive we have to be with our thoughts, with our behavior, with our attitudes, with our emotions and sentiments, interactions. Then only we can become pure. We are reading in the Upanishads, in the Bhagavad Gita, that we have to be free of desires. How these desires come? How subtly they come? How subtly they completely make our mind, our thoughts, everything impure. Sometimes we do not even come to know. Here, in this way, in these questions, which the kings, throughout Bhagavatam, it is Parikshit asking, and so many stories one after another going on. So somebody is asking, somebody is replying. Doesn't matter who is asking and who is, we are interested in the question and the reply. And applying those questions, considering that it is also true of me. I also must try to see where I fit, where my mind needs a little cleaning up. Clarity is necessary. The intelligence must get clarity. Unless we do that, again and again and again, I tell you, unless we do that, all this knowledge will remain as a knowledge. But in this spirituality, if we have a feeling that by this the mind should become peaceful, equipoised, the life lived will be more meaningful, then we have to become that. What we read, what we learn, what we gain as a knowledge, we have to become that. At least try to become. So, one by one, he started saying, so I will be telling you about this one because there is a similarity to what Rishabha was saying, and this question, tell me the way by which even men of gross intellect may quickly get over this false identification of I am the body. We were doing that. Whatever we did with Rishabha was saying about the I-ness and the mindness, what strong bondage it brings about and how difficult it is. And I think for a long time, a few months, we have been seeing how our whole problem, in spite of knowing the knowledge, the whole problem is the desire and the attachment, the delusional clinging, the false and the mistaken identity, and feeling that I am this body, and feeling that everything that is around me belongs to me. So this I-ness and mindness, which has to be removed completely, we were discussing. And from that we have come. Rishabha, we did. Nothing is disjointed, my dear children. Nothing is disjointed. Everything is useful, and everything is, if you think about it, do manana, you will find everything will form a beautiful garland, beautiful garland, and will find meaning in everything, and everything will become easy also. So, when this question was asked, then what reply he gave? What is the question? Yathaitam aishwarim mayam dustaram akritatmabhihi tarantyanjasthuladhiyo maharsha idamuchyatam. The king asked, tell me the way by which even those people who have gross intellect may quickly get over the maya of the Lord. So, akritatmabhihi yatha etam aishwarim mayam dustaram akritatmabhihi. Akrita atmabhihi. So, those whose senses are not restrained and they have gross intellect, mandamati, taranti anjaha, that is immediately, quickly, sthula dhiyaha, those who are having the intellect is a little dull, how they can cross over. So this Navayogi Prabuddha said, so do you understand what is the question? The question is, he is asking, I am not able to understand always fully, cannot even keep it in mind. So tell me in such a manner that I'll be able to understand easily and follow it easily, and I'll be able to reach the goal. So Prabuddha says, out of all the 9, Prabuddha, he says, Karmanyarabhamananam dukha hatyai sukhayacha pashyet paka viparyasam mithuni charinam nrinam. He said that generally the embodied beings, they will get into marriage, have partners, and a family will grow. So, to look after the family, one will be engaged in actions after actions. And why these activities are done? To get happiness. That is, a family will be, children will be born. So to bring up the children, to keep the children in a little bit comfort, to educate them, earning is necessary, more earning is necessary. So constantly activity after activity will be there to get happiness and to prevent unhappiness. Two aims are there. Happiness also should be there. Also definitely unhappiness, there will be a lot of plans so that nothing happens by which we become unhappy. Not only that we try for happiness, we also see to it that everything is planned in such a manner that unhappiness does not come to us. So the whole mind is engaged in that. Although people do that, it reaps contrary results mostly. Many things, even if we think that this will be very good, it's giving me happiness, say very good food, you have taken a lot, and after some time you have stomach pain. So at that time it has given me sukha, but after some time it is giving me dukha. Similarly, certain things, maybe for a long period it will give us sukha only, but after some time it starts giving us anxiety. People will be wanting children. After marriage, every couple will want a child. So much thought will be there. When the child is born, so much of festivity will be there. So many parties will be thrown. But afterwards, the child may be disobedient, child may not study properly, may not settle down in life. Even if it is so, may not be properly married, maybe the marriage gets broken, or maybe the child will die. So, while the days are going on, anxiety and fear remains along with happiness. So this is the life, and this life everybody knows. I don't have to explain it. This is our life. The life is full with sukha and dukha. And always, whatever sukha is there, this is adyantavanta. It comes and goes, comes and goes. Also dukha comes and goes. So, Prabuddha says, Nityartidena vittena durlabhena atmamrittuna grihapatyapta pashubhihi ka priti sadhitasya laihi Nityartidena vittena durlabhena atmamrityuna grihapatyapta pashubhihi ka priti sadhitasya laihi. It says that Nitya Arti, which always gives pain. It's talking about what? Wealth. Even though we have wealth, it will be always giving us anxiety. Wealth brings suffering in the beginning, in the middle, and the end. Why? To acquire wealth, we have to struggle. When wealth is there, we have to struggle how to save it, how to increase it, how to protect it from getting robbed or wasted. Sometimes children will waste the money. Whatever you have, with your hard labor, you have made some property, and children will simply lose it. So, it gives suffering in the beginning, in the middle, in the end. It is difficult to produce. And when produced, liable to cause lot of anxiety and fear. How to protect it, or how to save it for the children. So, when this kind of anxiety is there regarding all the things that we consider ours, home, family, child, possessions. So what priti, what joy can one have? So it says, what joy can there be by possessing ephemeral resources? All these things which we consider ours, I have possessed, I have acquired. All the things, whether it is a house, a wife, a child, those days cattle, so they have written Pashubhihi. Relatives, even the name, fame, position, prestige, everything. All those are ephemeral. Knowing it very well, what joy can one have? One may acquire it, but to think that this is the be-all and end-all of life, that is a foolishness. So, Prabhupada is saying that. Tasmad. So, first he says that the life is like this. And he says, in any life, especially in the householder's life or worldly life, those who remain in the family, they will be constantly working for the family, getting unduly attached, clinging to everything that they think that this is my belonging, this is my possession, and suffer. Suffer with anxiety and fear. And if one understands that all the things that I consider as my possessions are ephemeral, then what is the joy in that? So what one should do, even if one understands it, the clinging is so much, one is not able to stop it. The other day somebody was saying that this knowledge is giving so much of peace, happiness, and also the mind is becoming very, very restful. And the same person says, I am very afraid of my son, his health, what will happen, this, that. So there is no use. Nothing has happened to the sun. It is only an imagination. Suppose something happens to my son, or suppose something happens to my daughter or the grandchildren. This imaginary fear is remaining in the mind like a leech. One is not, with so much of knowledge, so much of love which has God generated for this knowledge. I think all of you are serious seekers. So, definitely there is a love for this knowledge, a love to pursue this path. So now we have to see, where is this clinging? Where we are attached? Why I am not able to throw it? Am I attached to my body? The luxuries and comforts that I am used to? The food that I am used to? The way I live my life? Am I clinging to that? To my family? To my money? To my bank balance? To my house? With what? And why? To what extent? And can I at least leave this imaginary fear? If something happens, then we have to work upon it. Swamiji says, if you are going to be a pauper in 2030, why are you thinking and becoming anxious that suppose I become a pauper, and bringing that fate which is not there now? Unnecessarily bringing that anxiety now, thinking that, oh, suppose it happens, suppose it happens. So, he says, how to really break this clinging and be liberated. How? He says, Tasmad gurum prapadyeta jidyasu shreya uttamam shabde parecha nishnatam brahmanyupashamashrayam. Tasmad gurum prapadyeta jidyasu shreya uttamam shabde parecha nishnatam brahmanyupashamashrayam tatra bhagavatan dharman shikshed gurvatmadaivatah amayayanu tushyedatmatmado harihi. Tatra bhagavatan dharman shikshed gurvatmadaivatah amayayanu tushyedatmatmado harihi. Tasmad. This, in Bhagavatam especially, Bhagavatam will always tell what it is, how is the life, and then it will start with a sloka, Tasmat, that is, therefore, O devotee, O seeker, do this. He gives a way how to get over. So he says, who is saying? Prabuddha, one of the Navayogis. He started giving reply to this question. Who has asked the question? King Nimi. Tasmad gurum prapadyeta jidyasu shreya uttamam. Tasmad shreya jidyasu janaha. Therefore, the jidyasu means somebody who is asking question. Shreya, he is very good. He is a jigyasu, he has a sincere jigyasa, sincere question to be asked. Quest is there. So, he should worship and take refuge uttamam gurum prapadyeta. Tasmad, therefore, the person in whose mind such a question or questions have come, and who feel that they want to know the reply for these questions, because they have understood that from this ephemeral life I am not going to get happiness. My mind is always very, very restless. The mind should become quiet. And what is the way to do that? How can I make my mind restrained, my senses restrained, become quiet and peaceful? And how to get liberated from this I-ness and mine-ness. That I am constantly thinking that my limited, this existence with my name, my form, my possessions and all that, qualifications, I feel that I am this body, mind, intelligence and this. All these things are mine. And because of this I-ness and mine-ness, I am suffering. How to get liberated from that I-ness? I want to know. And the genuine quest is there. Like that small child, now no, nothing else will please. Nothing else, no other thing is satisfactory to the mind and intelligence. This devotee, this seeker, has this one-pointed quest in the mind. I don't want to know many things. I may have to do many things in my life. I'll do that. But my mind is wanting reply for this question. How do I progress? How do I remove this bondage that I am having? How do I become mukta, liberated? So he says, tasmad, therefore, take refuge at the feet of the Guru. If you are having a quest of this kind, what kind of a Guru? Shabde parecha brahmani nishnatam and upashama ashrayam. Shabde pare nishnatam, who is versed in scriptures, and brahmani cha, who has direct knowledge of Brahman. That Guru who has direct knowledge of Brahman and who is well versed in the scriptures, and upashama ashrayam, and who has attained to tranquility of the mind. Shrotriyo avrijino akamahato yo brahmavittamah brahmanyuparata shanto nirindhanaivanalaha. In Viveka Chudamani, Shankaracharya is defining Guru. Shrotriyo avrijinaha, Shrotriyaha, well versed in scriptures. Avrijinaha, who is sinless, no sin at all. Akamahataha, who is not smitten by any desire. No desire is there. Brahmavittamaha, of the ones who had known Brahman, he is one of them. And Brahmanyuparataha shantaha, his mind is having uparati in Brahman. His mind, although he may be in the midst of many things, it is always quietly remaining, sitting on the thought of Brahman. Brahmani uparataha. And that is why shantaha. All the hustle bustle, it may be there around him, but his mind is sitting on the self, the Brahman. Shantaha, quiet, tranquil. Nirindhanaivanalaha. Like what? Like when the fire is burning, suppose the fuel is over, the fire will get extinguished. No matter however much you try, if the fuel is not there, fire will not come. So here in his mind, fuel is not there. Fuel of desire is not there. Fuel of trying to get happiness from everything is not there. So the fuel is not there. So his mind is on that one thought, singular thought, Brahman. And he sees Brahman everywhere. Even if he is in the midst of everything, he finds the essence Brahman everywhere. So he is Shanta. Brahmanyuparata Shanto nirindhana ivanalaha. Here also, tasmat gurum prapadyeta. So, therefore, my dear child, my dear seeker, my dear devotee, worship and go and take refuge at the feet of a guru, a sadguru, who is shabde parecha nishnatam, brahmanyupashamashrayam, who is well versed in the scriptures and whose mind is, who has direct knowledge of Brahman, whose mind is having this self-seatedness in Brahman, and upashama ashrayam, who has attained tranquility of the mind. And going there, what will you do? Okay, that I will do next time. Time is up. Anyway, so, tasmat gurum prapadyeta jijnasu shreya uttamam shabde parecha nishnatam brahmanyupashamashrayam tatra bhagavatan dharman shikshed gurvatma deivata amayaya anuvrityayaihi tushyed atmatmado harihi. You going at the feet of the Guru, learn the Bhagavata Dharma. Bhagavata Dharma. What is the Bhagavata Dharma? The steps, the disciplines that one must follow, pursue to be liberated. Sitting at the feet of the Guru and considering Gurvatma Deivataha, considering Guru to be the Devata and your Atma. There is no difference between God, Guru and your own self. And how will you get it? Going at the feet of the Guru, unmotivated service to the Guru, loving and faithful service to the Guru. Be very sincere, unmotivated, loving service you do. And look upon him as the self, as the deity. What will happen? Sri Hari, who is the soul of everybody's self, then he becomes pleased when he sees that somebody has learned this Bhagavata Dharma and has gone to the Guru, learned from him and is following. Then he gives Atma Jnana to this devotee. He becomes liberated. So I'll discuss the whole of it. There are so many points next time. Okay. Sampurnam Jagadeva Nandanavanam Sarvepi Kalpadrumaha Gangam Vari Samasta Vari Nivaha Punya Samasta Kriyaha Vacha Prakrita Samskrita Shruti Shiro Varanasi Medini Sarvavasthitirasya Vastu Vishaya Drishti Parabrahmani Sarvavasthitirasya Vastu Vishaya Drishti Parabrahmani. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru.